Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today, I apologise if there's any background noise, it's because there is a lot going on right now and unfortunately I can't do anything about it. So today I thought I'd do a kind of different type of video that wasn't not really a category that I've kind of filmed before, but I thought it'd be really interesting, and also I thought it might help some of you guys out that maybe not going through that situation, but you might be learning at this point. So today I am going to be filming a how I got my license in a week video, because I genuinely got my driver's license in a week. So first of all, I want to talk about a company slash course that you guys can do that you may not know about. I'm specifically talking about the UK at this point in time, but other countries may do it. So there is a company that called 5Day, and that is the place that I did my course with. So basically it's a super intense course. You do it for 5 days and then they kind of guarantee you a pass at the end of it, and if you don't pass your test then they do free correction lessons. I just want to say quickly, this is not sponsored whatsoever, I just thought it was a brilliant thing and it helped me get my license super quickly. Yeah, so it's like a 5-day course, so every day you start off, I completely missed my finger then, every day you start off with like a brief of what you're going to do that day. So after your brief is finished, which is about 45 minutes to an hour, then you go out with your instructors for 2 hours, you go out for 2 hours, and then you come back, you have your lunch, and then you have another 2 hours with your instructor, and then you come back to the classrooms, and then you will learn about the rules of the road, how it works. And this is more for the theory side of things. So if you've already passed your theory test, which in the UK you have to get your theory test, you have to pass that theory and hazard test before you can actually take your driver's test, which I think they're changing that in Australia as well, so you have to actually pass that before you can do your driver's test. Anyway, so yeah, so after you've gone out, so you have your brief in the morning, you go out for 2 hours, lunch, you go out for another 2 hours, so a total of 4 hours in a day. Then you learn all about your theory in the afternoon, and you do that for 5 days, and then on the 5th day, the Friday morning, you take your theory test at the centre, and then you go back to the place where the instructor, I'm trying to think of the name, like the driving school basically. You go back to the classrooms, and then you go out for another 4 hours on your final day. And then if you're feeling confident and your instructor thinks you're ready on that last day, they can book your driver's test for you, which is what my instructor did. So I started my course on the Monday, and then the following Monday, we finished on the Friday obviously, and then I had the weekend, but then the following Monday, a week after I started in the car, I got my driver's test. I passed my test and I got my license. So I'm going to give you guys a bit of kind of some tips, but I really wanted to tell you about that course because it is amazing, and I know there's a lot of people out there that instead of having like a driver's lesson once a week for an hour, you get a block of lessons and it's fresh in your mind, each day. You're doing it the next day, you're not going to forget what you've learned, especially if you're a new learner, and especially if you're doing manual like I learned. The gears can be hard to kind of, you've got to put your clutch in, then change the gear. Not only that, you've got to think about getting the biting point of the car, which obviously if you guys are learning automatic, then you can do this course in an automatic car, but I prefer to learn manual because then you can drive both. But yes, I'm gonna head to the car in a minute. I'm gonna just show you guys kind of how I change gears and what I found helpful when I was learning, and I thought it'd be better to take to the car and just show you rather than try and explain it to you. But before I go, I just want to quickly explain a little bit more. So the course I did was a week course or 5 days, and they do give you free correction lessons if you fail your test. Then they will go back, they will speak to your examiner who checks off how well you've done, and then they will look over the faults, and you also get a copy if you fail of where you went wrong, and then you can take that with your instructor and you can work on the areas that you need to work on. Now it cost me £999 for the entire course, and that included the theory test and the hazard test, but it did not include my driver's test, so I had to pay an extra, I can't remember how much it was now, £65 I think, for my actual driver's test, but I passed first time, so that was not a big deal for me. But yeah, so that's the cost of it. When it is a bit expensive, but when you do work out how much lessons are going to cost, and especially if you're going to know that you need a lot of lessons is definitely worth it. For me, guys, I got my license in a week. You know, one Monday I didn't have a clue how to do anything to do with a car, and then the following Monday I could drive by myself. So I'm going to head to the car now. I'm just going to show you a couple of things that I found easy. Hey guys, so I thought instead of me sitting in front of the camera, I would just come on here with my vlog camera and I'll just show you some like little tips that I do, or things that I found easy when I was, or easier when I was learning. So I'm just gonna adjust my chair because Tom's been driving rather than me, so everything's like out of place, and then we'll get started. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the gears. The engine isn't on, so I don't have to put my clutch in, but normally guys, if I was changing gear, for those of you who drive automatics, you do have to put your clutch in to change a gear. So when I was first learning to drive, I used to be like clutching, and then I'd be like, oh god, get it in gear, and I'd be like this, trying to get it in, and I just struggled and I'd panic, and that is not the way. So we're in neutral at the moment. Neutral means you can wiggle it around and it's in the middle of the gearbox. So what I found helpful was, instead of like, you know, well, I have to use my right hand because this is the hand that you guys will be using, so I would go across and up. And that is in first at the moment, and that is the easiest, that's the hardest bit, but you will be in first when you set off. So you don't have to worry, you'll already be in first. So the hardest bit is really from gear 2 to 3. So you'll start off it, so from gear 1 to 2 is easy. 2 to 3 can be a bit tricky, but 3 to 4 again is easy. So now when you're in 1, straight down to 2nd, it's easy. Now from 3, I'm just going to release it back into the middle, so we're in neutral, and then up to 3. Instead of normally, I'd be like clutching, and then let's say I was in 2nd like we are now, I'd be like, oh, God, I need to get it into 3, and I'd be doing all of this, and then up. But don't stress. Like, my biggest thing when I was learning to drive was panicking. Once you panic, everything you know goes out the window. Do not panic, that is my biggest thing. Just be calm. Like, once you're up to about 2nd gear, you're about what, 20, 30 like kilometers per hour. I was about to say miles per hour then. Yeah, it's easy then. Like, you don't have to stress to change gear. It's just getting up your gears. In fact, no, once you're in about gear 3, you don't really have to stress. Like, like your gear changes should just be smooth. Like, smoothing out my gear changes was like the biggest challenge for me, but once I did it, like, it was just so much easier for me. Huge tip that I can give you guys is when I was learning to drive, I would come and sit in my car and I would just practice the gears, because once you have the engine off, guys, you don't need to put the clutch in to change gears. So if you guys need to smooth over your gear changes, that's a thing that my examiner commented on. I still passed my test, but she said you just need to be smoother with the gear changes. So come in your car with the engine off, sit here for an hour, half an hour every day, and just practice changing gears. And then once you're on the road, it's just so much smoother. So this is what I was saying. So we'll start in first, and we'll go up the gears, and we'll do it smoothly instead of panicking. Okay, so we'll start in neutral. So you start in neutral, but as you were coming, well, for me, I have to reverse to get it out my drive. So I'll reverse out the drive, then I put it straight up into neutral and straight into first, like that. These gears are a bit stiff, which is why I'm doing it with more force, but I'm not panicking and trying to jiggle it around everywhere. Going into 2nd, you know, accelerator, clutch in, straight down. Easy peasy. Now, 2nd to 3rd, like I said, straight into middle. Look, I'm straight in 3rd now. That was not hard whatsoever. So, straight into the middle, like that, and straight up to 3rd. Then once you're in 3rd, again, you don't even have to think about that. Straight into 4th. Straight down into 4th. And then to go into 5th, it's going to go up, across, and up. Just use this bit of your hand as well. Don't try and grab the whole thing. Like, use your hand to push things, like down, up, look with my hand, like the palm bit, and then straight up into 1st. 2nd, down, 3rd, up there, 4th. Then again, I'm using my palm to push it across and up. I promise you now, guys, that is like my biggest tip. Basically, just like use your, come sit in your car and just practice those gears. Like, gears were the biggest challenge for me, but once you get the hang of it, I promise you'll be fine. Okay, so I hope that was helpful on like how to change gears and all that with the clutch, and just, you know, things that I found easy when I was learning, because I know a lot of people stress like when they're trying to change gears quickly. It's like, oh my gosh, get it into gear. Again, this is all for manual. Now I just want to talk quickly about passing your hazard and theory test, because if you don't pass these tests, you can't take your driver's test. Learning to drive a car is easy, but learning the rules of the road and like hazards and stuff like that, it can be a bit difficult. So I'm going to link a video. Oh, also, when you do take your test, guys, if you're in the UK, you have to do something called show me, tell me questions, which are 19 questions. And you have to learn them all, and your examiner will ask you 2 of the questions at the start before you even drive. One will be like a show me, so it might be show me how you would check if your brakes are working. So you would obviously put your foot on the brake and you would get someone to look and see if your brake lights are working. Either that, or show me how you would check if your brake lights are working, or tell me rather. So if you were telling her, you'd be telling her that's how you would do it, but if you were showing her, you have to physically do it. Or some other ones might be like, show me how you would check if your oil was low. And then you'd go around to the front of the bonnet and you would bring out the oil stick, you would wipe it off, and then you dip it, and then it should be within a certain limit. Stuff like that you have to know. They're quite easy. But I'll link a video that I found really, really helpful, and it basically takes you through all like the parts of the car that you need to know and stuff like that. It's just basic maintenance really, and it is helpful when you do own your own car. But as far as the hazard perception and theory test go, I will show you the app that I used. Okay, so I don't have the app on my phone at the moment, but this is the app that I got. It's called the Official DVSA Theory Test Kit for Car Drivers, and it looks like this. I don't know how well this is focusing, guys, but that's the app that I used, and I just basically every day I would go on the app and I would kind of go over everything, and I would just keep doing the theory tests, and it will give you like sections. Like that's pretty much the only app I used. I didn't really use the highway code or anything like that. I just used the app and I just did practice after practice after practice after practice until I was getting 43 or more, because you need 43 out of 50 to pass your theory. And then for the hazard, I will link that down below, the one I used to practice. But like I said, with this course, after you've done your 4 hours, then you come back and you go through with your teacher, and he will go through on the board and show you clips, and he will explain everything. And then after he's finished doing that, I think that takes about an hour and a half, you then go to your computers. Well, you're set at the computer, but you go on the computer and you do your hazard test and your theory test. You can do as many practices as you want, and then at 5 o'clock it ends and you go home. So it's from 9 AM till 5 every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then they guarantee you a pass at the end. And then if you do fail, you can just keep getting correction lessons. There is obviously the terms and conditions. You have to contact them within a certain day after failing your test, otherwise it doesn't work. But yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. That is how I passed my test in a week. But if you are serious or you need your license quick, like if you're serious about getting your license, that is the way to go. Personally, I found that the best way. Pretty sure that's it. I can't really think of anything else that I want to tell you guys. I think I covered most of it in my little car demonstration. But if you guys have any more questions or you want to know more about how I passed my test, then please, sorry, my email just went off. Then please do leave a comment down below, and I will try and like reply to you. But yeah, like don't be scared to ask me anything you want, guys. I'm not gonna bite. But yeah, that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.